partners and he's leaving you is, again, just asking for a negative relationship with him and his future partners. Another trend that was going around on the forum place of Boy on TikTok went something like this. Hey man, why don't you try teaching him to cook so that he can feed himself? Have you ever thought of that? Again, these moms see their future daughter-in-laws as competition and not as an extension of their family. Another video shows a mom making a sandwich for her daughter-in-law, where the sandwich consists of her throwing a ton of paprika on it. Is she allergic to paprika? Because there's first-degree premeditated murder. Yeah, no, that's another story. No, the mom is upset because all of her food. That's because the bitch never learned how to cook. Another example of how this all manifests into terrible relationships between mom, partner, and son is this video. Narcissistic mother-in-law destroys Jennifer Gale Party out of her jealousy. Jennifer Gale Party already off to a bad start. Her house in the back will probably blow up too and light on fire and start another wildfire in California. So that didn't happen. Let's see. Imagine this woman is carrying her son's shot. Once he found out the sex of their child, something that's very important to both of them in their own relationship, and then you fucking run in there like it's some sort of polyamorous rumble. Hey, bitch, it's not West Virginia. I don't think, okay? That might be different. The daughter-in-law is clearly there are a ton of video clips. People are just out here. Give us free out there! Joe Buddy.
Alright, I'll give it now.
On top of this, the other terrible is that these men end up being veritable common bullies, not only with their mom first, but who expect their partners to be moms over them. Mommy, I want food. Phil, we've been married for 20 years and you're 60 years old. Regardless of the circumstances of healing a toxic relationship between a mother and her son, there are ways to heal the toxicity and establish a healthier relationship between children. Working with a marriage and family therapist is one of the best steps. A family therapist can help a mother and her son explore the dynamics between them that aren't working in their best interest and offer them support and coping skills to detach from each other in healthy ways, as well as coping skills for any of the symptoms that are fueling the toxicity. All of it's not lost. All of these people that I talked about need to seek therapy. Hopefully they can. Like healthcare. Take it from me. Being treated different and at times worse than your male sibling really dampens your relationship with the rest of your children and makes them feel unwanted. Your sons will feel dependent on you even as adults, and it will affect them for the rest of their lives. Sure, guys, okay, for now it's jokes. But even jokes can evolve into something much more sinister as time goes on. Well, everyone, that's it for me, and that's it for this video. I really hope you all enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed the topic of discussion. Let me know what you all think about boy moms, toxic boy moms. Share your experiences with some toxic boy moms, if you so wish. Yeah, just comment anything you want to comment down below. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you like me, you can subscribe. I post comments.
in the middle of the ceremony.
I used to be a trad wife, and now I'm a single mom. It all started back when I was a teen mom. I was 19 years old when I got pregnant. I was not married. When our daughter was like a week old, we just eloped at the courthouse and made it signed, sealed, and delivered. We were married. I was married to a military man, and my job was to be a wife and a mom. I wasn't supposed to have any time or any thought about doing anything other than being a wife and a mom. I love my kids very dearly, and I do not regret my decisions to have them. I do regret my decision to pick the partner that I picked to be their dad and to be my ex-husband. I had very low self-worth and self-esteem and thought that I was only good at being a wife and mom because that's what I was shown growing up.
I understand that being a stay-at-home mom can be incredibly rewarding and fulfilling, and I won't discourage anyone from making decisions for their family that they think are for the best. But I also think that it's important to consider all sides of a story and encourage women to look at the long-term drawbacks of being a traditional mom. Throughout this video, I'll share the stories of some women talking about their realities about being ex-stay-at-home wives, and in between those stories, I want to share with you my two biggest reasons that I think that being a stay-at-home trad wife is not the best idea for women.
It wasn't until we were teenagers that my mom then ever started going to college. When she got married, she didn't have a college degree. She was in the military, and she did her 4 years in the Air Force. And my dad was a career military man, and my mom was married him and became a trad wife. And don't get me wrong, trad life comes first. I think it's best when you watch videos, sisters, and tell me why marriage is hard. Marriage is only hard when you pick the wrong partner. My husband would make fun of my weight. He would make fun of the little gap I have in between my two front teeth right here. Basically, anything he could find to make fun of, he would make fun of it. And he would try to play it off as if it was just him being sarcastic and that we should make fun of each other. And don't get me wrong, I know there's couples out there like that, and that is the way they show their love. And I am not passing any judgment on how anybody else will live their life. I just know for me, coming from a house where we never did that, it really sent me into, like, I would say, emotional stress. I wanted to laugh all of the things off, but deep down inside, I knew all of the jokes were great. And that he was basically just making fun of me our entire marriage. Of course, at the time, I probably didn't realize all of that until I was out of the marriage. I love my kids very, very, very much, and I do not regret my decision to have them. I love them so much. But picking the wrong partner is a number to me even post-divorce. I was tormented for years post-divorce. My ex was so controlling to the fact that he wanted to try to control my sex life after divorce. After many years of divorce. And he was already married and had kids with his now wife, who was his wife back then also. Anyway, all of this to say is pick smart when you are picking the father of your children, the mother of your children, and you are picking a partner for life. Do not take that very lightly. That is one of the most important decisions you will make in your entire life. Next to what toppings you want for your holy bowl. Also, you're going to want to have the hard conversations in an early relationship and in an early marriage, that if your partner is doing something that makes you feel uncomfortable, then you bring it up and you have the guts to have the hard conversation. That is one thing I definitely messed up in my relationship, is that I let my husband at the time make all the decisions. I basically had no voice. I don't even know if I would have been able to speak up. Because
Wow,
after
what
we
a
were
haul.
divorced, when the kids went to go live with him, because my kids went to go live with him and I paid him child support, many of us know that car seats expire. So we know that whenever we're going to be using one that's been given to us or donated, maybe we bought one at a thrift
No, I
store or
got it.
garage
I'm
sale, we
getting
know to
really
look at
good.
the expiration date.
With me
But what
cheering.
many of us don't know is that car seats that have been involved, I would say I've had no say so on how my kids were raised. I learned that very quickly that my voice and my opinions on my girls did not matter, and that I should just fall in line with anything she says to do. Why is
Wow,
that like
what a
something
haul.
suddenly blowing up? Because people my age that were traditional wives are getting divorced and realize that they threw 20 years of optional, available, could have been energy into the workforce, into their future. They threw that away doing laundry
Wow, what a
and watching
haul.
their kids. Now, don't get
Classic
me wrong,
Nikki.
I wouldn't
A little fish
trade
is no.
staying home with my children for anything. However, I would have insisted on some sort of investment into my future, either by way of a 401k, an IRA, a home in my name, or I would have had to have some sort of side gig where I could have put that on a resume if anything happened to my husband or our marriage. And so people my age, women that are in their 40s and 50s, that have raised their children, who have been traditional wives, are coming forward and talking about the realities of that.
It's even shinier
Because
than
someone like my
barbecue.
grandmother, who couldn't have left her husband no matter what, because she went
Is
from high
barbecue the
school
only
and
thing you think
fulfillment
about? You
into
could have
being a
said,
stay-at-home wife and mother, she could never have
I
left,
don't know. It's just
ever.
really shiny.
And so I, being 51, I am like one of the first or second generations of women being traditional stay-at-home wives who are coming out and saying, don't do this to yourself. And so trad wife content is becoming super popular right now because what's happening is the trad wife is glamorizing staying home and being a homemaker and a stay-at-home mother, which again, there's nothing wrong with that as long as you talk about the fact that if your husband dies, you're screwed, like triple double screwed. I have a family member that if her husband died or left her tomorrow, she would be a stay-at-home wife, broke on her ass with 4 kids and no way to support herself. Or if he died, she's completely screwed. And for all of you out there that say, just marry a really good man, that's great and all. But what if you're sick of this really great man? What if he dies? What if he becomes like incapable of going to work? It's not that trad wife content is extremely popular right now. Everyone's being mean. What's happening is that we are the second generation of women coming forward to say, quit being so goddamn stupid and protect yourself. 50% of marriages end in divorce. And while he's making $100,000+ a year, you have no skills, no career, no resume, nothing except for kids and a dog and God knows what else. You'll be living in an apartment while he's got his new 20-something in his penthouse or the family home. So good luck. Listen, there's a lot of people in my life who think that I am an absolute party pooper because when I see young couples getting married, instead of just saying congratulations, I have to sit down and talk about financial autonomy and making sure that the female is supported in the relationship as much as the male is, and how are you going to co-raise those children together, and what's the exit strategy. And that's not a particularly romantic thing to ask a young couple when they're about to tie the knots. But I really wish that somebody would have those conversations with me. When I was 20 years old, I got married to a smoking hot Mormon returned missionary, and he promised to love me forever, not just till death do us part, for time and all of eternity. And he was a liar, but I didn't know that when I was 20. So I dropped out of college and gave up my job and had the babies and stayed home.
water up ahead looks sweet. Let's stop here.
For 24 years of my life. And if you're new to me, then what happened?
Wow,
At
what a
age
haul.
44, about 6 years ago today, um, I caught him picking up a 19-year-old escort. How do I know she's 19? Because that's what his pictures through Google search. 19-year-old escort Phoenix. Before he chatted with somebody on, I think it was Backpage, arranged to meet up, which I had caught on his phone.
It's even shinier than
And
barbecue.
followed him up there.
Today has been truly
2 days
wild.
after, my husband
Is
abandoned
barbecue the
me
only
and our
thing you
4
think
kids
about?
for a
You could have
19-year-old
said,
escort.
uh,
I went to Trader
I don't
Joe's to
know.
buy
It's
myself
just
a bag
really
of
shiny.
groceries, swiped my card, and it was declined. I should have had a ton of money in that account, and it was all gone. It was gone. My name had never been on one of our homes. My name hadn't been on our vehicles. My name wasn't on the Mercedes that I was driving at the time that our marriage ended. He was able to evict me from the condo that we were renting together because I didn't even exist on the lease, not even as a roommate, not even as a pet. He just canceled the lease. I was just some weirdo living in the condo that Jake had canceled, and so the apartment evicted me. And I was kind of on my head too, like, being a homemaker gives me a lot of skills that I bet would translate into a job. So I right away put together a resume, talked about all of the work that I had done in our family businesses, and then went out and started interviewing for jobs. And there was not a person in this entire world who wanted to hire a 44, 45, 46-year-old who had been a stay-at-home mom since the time she was 20. So my first, actually only job that I had after my divorce was $11 an hour, working as an assistant in an elementary school classroom 4 hours a day. You did the math, $44 a day. The only reason that my rent is paid this month is, first of all, my TikTok followers are constantly supporting my content, and I have 3 separate jobs: sales job, furniture flipping business, and I'm still working my Mormon essential oils MLM. I work 7 days a week. I have no retirement. I live in a family member's guest house that they could sell at any moment. I've only existed in the credit world for about 4 years, so I can't finance anything. But it just kind of pisses me off that I went into my marriage thinking that I had a 100% success rate. I didn't have an exit strategy. I didn't have any way to support myself if things went south, and here I am. So I've been living this out on camera for the past 3 years, and I don't plan to go anywhere. I'll keep you posted. Let's see how it ends. It would have been better if I had made different decisions in the beginning, and I wish that somebody had told 20-year-old me that man is not a plan. Never has been, never will be.
So reason number 1 for not being a trad wife is the biggest one, and that's the lack of financial independence. Being financially dependent on a man for everything you want in life sounds like misery to me. Even if you're giving an allowance, the idea of not being able to buy or do anything financially unless a man gives you the money and the go-ahead should scare you. Many people don't even make enough money to live comfortably on one income without constantly making sacrifices and living paycheck to paycheck, and I can't imagine what that must feel like with multiple children. When a woman stays home, she sacrifices her career and job prospects by not furthering her education and not gaining any transferable skills. And in the meantime, the husband goes out and he climbs the corporate ladder and he gets promotion after promotion because he knows that he has a wife handling everything at home. And re-entering the workforce after 10 to 20 years will mean starting from scratch, even if you have a college degree. There are certain fields like medicine or IT where missing even 1 year of work could set you back 5 years because of how fast things change in those fields. And if you don't have financial help to go back to school, you're looking at a minimum wage type job for years or working multiple jobs until you can work your way up to an income that can comfortably sustain yourself and children. All this time, the man simply continues to live his life with his job and his career.
Why is tribe-life content suddenly blowing up?
It's become a popular topic because women my age and older that have gotten divorced and thrown decades of their lives down the toilet, doing the laundry and dishes, they're trying to warn you. You and accounts like you are intentionally dancing around the point. We're trying to tell you why this content is harmful. And I sincerely hope that you listen. You are not a traditional wife. You are on the internet and you work. Those of us who are actual stay-at-home moms that were traditional wives and mothers, we didn't have that luxury. No 401k in our names. The difference between you and the people that you're trying to make content for, if it's even women at all, which I kind of doubt, is that they are actual stay-at-home traditional wives and you're not a trad wife. You make money on the internet and they don't. And they find themselves a single mom with no 401k and decades missing from their resume with no current skills, no money in the bank, and not even a car in the driveway. Their outcome is going to be quite different than yours, with you making money from content. For the 12 years that I was a stay-at-home mother, not working at all, I became completely irrelevant in my field of information technology. The technology advanced and I, in my field, did not. I didn't pay into Social Security for those years. There's 12 years missing there. And my prospects in the actual W-2 job market looked like this: working in an insurance or IT call center, making not enough money to be able to feed my children. What if your husband dies? The other thing that you're not addressing here is the fact that this is what makes it quite tone deaf. Many families right now have to have two-income households. And when you tell them it's better to be a stay-at-home mom and show them all the glamour behind it and how wonderful it can be for your children, your husband, your marriage, you're reminding them they can't afford it. One of the particular things that I take issue with in your content is the way that you tell women what to wear. And you even double down on it and say that your daughter will not be able to wear leggings, and you hope in so many words that your son would want to choose a woman who dresses like a lady. Content like this sets us back about 50 years.
Play Infinity Nikki wherever you like, on your phone, iPad, computer, or even PS5. It's a cozy open world game where you can groom little animals by the roadside, go fishing, collect wind stars, play dress ups, and unwind from your day while taking in beautiful scenery. Infinity Nikki is now available for pre-registration. Join us now.
With health coverage at healthcare.gov, you can do more of what you love with less worry. Because all plans cover doctor visits, prescriptions, emergency care, and more. With the new law, 4 out of 5 customers can find a plan for $10 or less.
There might come a day, FK, if you have children, where you're home with 3 under 3, little Timmy is sick, the baby's got colic, the toddler's finger painted all over the walls, you haven't showered yet, dinner is burning, so you're considering dominoes, and you're going to look back on these days and these content if you don't hire help. And you are going to shake your head because, my dear, you don't know what you're talking about. And I say this with love. There will come a day where he will come home from work and the house will not be clean, dinner will not be homemade, and you will not be wearing that dress. If 2020 showed us anything, it showed us what can happen when an entire family has an illness and what happens to mom. I can tell you I did not rest. All of our children needed to be fed, dishes needed to be done, my kids needed clean underwear, messes needed to be fixed, and I can assure you, no matter how glamorous I look on camera, those are some rough days.
It's even shinier
When
than
I was 6 months
barbecue.
pregnant with my first son, I got walking pneumonia. He tried to look nice during that pregnancy, but there was really no way. And my second
Only
son,
thing we
I had
think about.
hypermesis
I could have said,
gravidarum. I'm not sure if you know what the feeling
I don't
of
know.
being
It's
belly
just
out
really
pregnant,
shiny.
curling over the toilet 4 to 8 times per day would look like, but I'm assuring you it's not going to look like that. The raw and honest experience of motherhood was standing in a shower the night of my C-section, staples in, gauze around me, and all I wanted was a shower. Skin hanging and sagging, my feet so swollen from the spinal that I looked like I had dinosaur feet. while my husband kindly washed my hair for me because it's all that I wanted. When you get older and if you have children, you might start to understand that the most beautiful parts about having a family and motherhood and womanhood in general are the parts, indeed, that are not aesthetically beautiful. And if you build your bond with your spouse based on what you look like and being presentable and what you can give him at all times, and the appearance, you're shortchanging yourself. Some of the most beautiful women that I know have been cheated on by their husband. That to me look beautiful at all times and put together. So as a woman of experience, I can also tell you as an older woman that the women that I've known in my life that make such a big deal out of having a perfect and beautiful marriage are generally the ones whose marriages are the most messed up. They don't talk about it. It's like they're trying to convince themselves that things are going well when they're not. You base your marriage on how beautiful you look at all times. What about what happens if he doesn't find you beautiful like that anymore and attractive? Because right now, without a backup plan, without a job, completely submitting yourself to this man with no other anything, this advice that you're giving people, you're basically telling them that their ability to eat and take care of their own children will be based on whether he still loves you tomorrow. Good luck.
Because people my age that were traditional women.
Boy, can I speak on this. Grandmother, stay at home. Mom, stay at home. Me, followed right in their footsteps. 1995, got married. 1997, had my first baby. 2000, had my second. 2004, had my third. No career, no education beyond a high school diploma. It is what I wanted. Having no understanding of the consequences that I'm now facing as a result of that choice. All while my now ex-husband made me feel guilty because I wasn't contributing to the financial household, but yet wanted all the things done at home as a stay-at-home wife does. He wanted both. And I didn't work outside the home. Then later, as my kids got a little bit older and in school, and the youngest one was like Mother's Day out programs and stuff, I would do housekeeping and anything to bring a little extra money in to our household income. But yeah, no education beyond the high school diploma, no effort to make any kind of career moves moving forward. And then fast forward to 2016, we're divorced. And I'm starting at the bottom with no job experience, even though I had managed a household, albeit sometimes the financial part was very poorly. That's a whole nother topic. And raised 3 children. And now I'm 49 years old and I'm struggling financially because I don't have 20 years of work experience on top of the most recent 10 years. So I should have 30 years of work experience. Don't have that. I have 10. Now my job is being eliminated at my current employer. I have 6 months. I have a retention bonus plus severance after that, and then I've got to find something else. In spite of the fact that I have been trying to get out of this company for multiple years because I have been so very unhappy in this role. And even moving internally in my company, I haven't been able to do that either because they want a degree. They want some type of college education on a resume, and I don't have that.
Today, we are all gathered here to honor our dearest friend, a warrior, a hero, is leaving us, speeding straight for a new world to embark on a new journey. The outer ring will never forget the blood, sweat.
Being a stay-at-home mom is both rewarding and extremely sacrificing. My girls, I was always there for them. Got them to school, got them home. They rarely had to ride the bus. Doctor's appointments, piano lessons, sick, I was home. Anytime they needed anything, I was their caretaker. Their dad was there. He was not a terrible dad. He was supportive as a parent. Although when I wanted to go do something for myself and get out and have some fun with my friends, I was always, I got home, stay home and babysit kind of thing. No, these are your kids. You're not babysitting. You're parenting. At the time, I didn't have that verbiage. I didn't have that vocabulary because I didn't understand that what he was saying was not okay because it's what I had known all my life. My mom stayed at home. She didn't work outside the home until she was older. Then my dad died at 54 years of age and left her a widow. For the next 20 years, that woman struggled. So whether it's divorce or death, trad wives, or in this economy especially, our parents did not experience the same thing that we're experiencing in the 80s. The job market, things were so much better in the 80s than it is right now. Yeah. So if you want to be a trad wife, and if that's what you want, and again, that is what I wanted, but it's also all that I knew, and I did not have a college education, and for me to try to work and pay daycare, it was pointless because I wasn't making enough money to justify paying for the daycare. I was basically working to pay daycare is what I would have been doing. Because again, I was making just above minimum wage because I had no skills to even give me that higher dollar amount. And then I got married, had kids, and then I wasn't working. So, yeah, if you're going to be a trad wife, prepare yourself. I wish I had known then what I know now. I wish I had had people like me telling me what I'm telling you now. Don't rely on your significant other to take care of your needs forever because shit happens.
Reason number 2, I think that being a stay-at-home mom is a bad idea, is the unequal division of labor in most homes. In a lot of cases, the stay-at-home mom takes on the majority of household chores and childcare responsibilities. This can lead to feelings of resentment and strain on the relationship. A lot of moms also feel like they have lost their sense of identity because all they become is a wife and a mom, and they forget about their own interests and feelings and desires. The fact is that some men these days don't see much value in being a stay-at-home mom, and so the idea of helping around the house isn't something that he will immediately do because household labor now becomes the woman's job. So when he gets home from work, all he wants to do is kick his feet up and watch football and neglects doing anything else like helping with dinner or the kids' homework or participating in the bedtime routine. And that's why a lot of kids grow up with fond memories of their mom, but not really much memories of their dad.
You may have noticed that there have been multiple articles written about me recently and my ex-Mormon, ex-trad wife life. And of course, on April 4th, I'll be on ABC's Tamron Hall show talking about this topic. This article right here was written without interviewing me, but I feel like the author does a really good job of capturing the message that I'm trying to convey. What happened to me when the trad wife fairy tale came to an end wasn't my ex-husband's fault. It wasn't my fault. It was a systemic failure of the Mormon church. And when all came crashing to the ground, they weren't there for either one of us. Marriage is the primary obsession of Mormon doctrine because you cannot become a god or a goddess as a single person. You literally can't live with God single. Kind of the opposite of the Catholic Church, right? Where like the monks and the nuns are like the most pure. Nope, in Mormon heaven you have to be married. So my obsession from childhood was finding my eternal companion. There are also Mormon doctrines that teach you not to delay marriage. Specifically, don't delay marriage until you're old enough. Don't delay marriage until after your education. Don't delay marriage until you're established in your career. One of the reasons for that is that sexual purity is a huge part of Mormonism. You're not worthy of eternal life if you have sex outside of marriage. So a bunch of, ramped up college kids, either they're going to sexually express with their husband and their wife at age 18, 19, 20, or they're just, they're going to lose eternal exaltation, boom, in one night stand. And that's literally how it works. I was engaged for the first time at age 17 at Rick's College, and everybody not only was fine with that, but they celebrated it. My professors, my friends, my Relief Society president, my bishop, my family, everybody was so excited when this little 18-year-old kid put a ring on it. I had absolutely no opposition whatsoever from anybody in my life. I broke up with him to marry Jake when I was 20 years old. And to be honest, at 20, I felt like it was a little bit old. It's past my prime. The year that I got married, 1995, the Mormon Church released prophecy or revelation. You can Google this for yourself. It's called the Family Proclamation of the World, which strictly defines gender as created by God. In one fell swoop, in one little document, they got rid of homosexuality and they got rid of working moms because women were created by God to be nurturers, and men were created by God to be providers. And that document would shape my adult life in ways that it may not have been shaped if that revelation hadn't come out. I don't know if you guys have noticed that I'm a little bit rebellious and I have critical thinking skills that are just inherent. And I tried so hard to put myself in the Mormon mold for my whole entire 44 years of Mormonism.
But sometimes I had wild ideas, like maybe I should be able to take care of myself. So as a young 20-something, I actually bought a windshield business. I had leftover money from college, and I was married to a loser who had absolutely no hope of doing anything with his life. So I employed him, and about 2 years into that, I found myself having my first baby, which I navigated by having nannies come into my home so that I could work from home, run our company from home. I didn't have to go into the office and still be there for my child. Until one day when I went into my Mormon stake president. And he asked me what I like to do all day. This was actually my very first TikTok video that I ever did, was talking about this moment in my life right here. And I told him I like to hike, I like to take my son to the zoo, and mostly 60 hours a week I run my windshield business. I'm Mormon stake president